You've undoubtedly heard about Super8, the dramatically improved 8mm film format.
A lot of times when you're going to shoot a film or anything that's important to you and you're not sure about a certain camera, you need to shoot a test roll just to see how the auto exposure works, how it looks, if the light meter is reading properly, if it's overexposing, underexposing. So that's what we're going to do, is go out and shoot a test roll and make observations of how much light is out, what our light meter says. We have a 2 to 3 minute little script that cameraman Kyle Platts wrote. It's called Galaxy Gulch. The opening shot is of a window, the reflection of the sky behind it, and you see this comet. So we just want to make sure that this camera is working correctly. Right now, technically, is magic hour. It's like 7:45 right now. The lighting is perfect. Ideally, this feels like it's the perfect time to film. So, but I'm not sure with the Super 8 camera if it is. I hope it is, because that would suck if this was too dark, but I don't think it is. The good thing with this one, this Canon one, is a 1.4 aperture, so it opens up more, about a stop more than those cheaper cameras. We're gonna composite a tree line into it. But if you come down more, you can frame it up just where you see nothing but sky. If you get lower, do you see what I'm saying? So that's kind of the angle right there. All right, so I was telling you guys about the 85 filter. So I found a couple at a local camera store, vintage ones, and they were really cheap. If you're doing a test roll, I would try one with using this and turning off your daylight filter. So if you were using this one, you would want to flip the sky. And I would shoot 5 seconds worth to see what it looks like with this filter engaged. Then I would also take it off and shoot it and see how the daylight filter works, the internal one. Because you may gain maybe a half a stop by using this one as opposed to using the one inside. Set it to auto. So this camera, you can do a manual aperture and look through it, and once it's on, it'll tell you what it thinks the aperture needs to be. It's like an f8 to 16 split, which is good. That's great. Usually when you're filming, it's always better to overexpose as opposed to underexpose. I would first fire off 5 seconds of whatever the light meter says, just to see if it's right. And it's always good to use a slate. So if we were gonna film 5 seconds, we know we're at a f16 to 8 split. So you maybe want to get a white piece of paper or a slate, write f8/16 split, clap it out, just so you know, because there's no metadata on the film that will tell you what you were filming at. So just so that you know. You then throw it into manual, right here. So now it's in manual, and now you just want to get it to where it's at an f8. So you're opening it up a half a stop, just so you overexpose it just a little bit. So that's kind of, if your light meter works properly and you have a manual aperture, that's the best way to get a good exposure and to overexpose a smidge. So we did a few tests with the camera on the tripod like so, and since it doesn't, the mounting point is much closer to the camera body, it remains more still. But when we did a test with this one, we actually saw a little bit of movement. So if you have a camera where you can only mount to the bottom, you're gonna probably want to, let me take this guy off right now. And remember, when we're done, always turn this bad boy off so the battery doesn't drain. If you were to film like this, and there's no film in this, so I'll just run it. Sometimes it might actually just move a little bit when it's not perfectly parallel to the ground. So sometimes you might want to get bungee cords and bungee this down here on both sides, so it's just a little more firm if you're going to be filming via remote. Or you may want to actually hold it like this and just try to keep it as firm as possible so it doesn't have that unnecessary shake. And then probably we may shoot the tree line right here. If you turn it that way, just a nice shot of those trees, probably in like 20 minutes because we want it to be really dark. And then maybe we'll shoot maybe another one even 20 minutes after that. And Kyle was telling me that, you know, watching the behind the scenes of Super 8, the J.J. Abrams film, they had a few scenes that were written in that they wanted to shoot on Super 8, but it called for visual effects and it was too soft, too dark. So they actually had to shoot those scenes on 16mm. To create mood, tone, environment, a sense of kind of a throwback look, it's great for. There's some shots in our script that calls for sweeping grand shots, like the opening shot where there's a reflection of a window and we see a comet pass. We may even shoot the comet element in 4K and then just really crush the hell out of it and soften it up, you know, a lot noisier, and I think that could work. What we're gonna do is film it from about right here, straight on. Obviously, these chairs won't be there. And shoot it with our Sony FS7, but also with the exact same angle, shoot it with our Canon 814. And even if we realize that we can't use the Super 8 footage, we're gonna have a perfect reference, a perfect match that we can get the grain just right, the look just right. So that's definitely just something that we're considering, and knowing that certain shots aren't always gonna be perfect or ideal with Super 8 in mind. So some other stuff we're gonna wanna shoot for our test roll is some shots of the camera hooked up to a car driving down the road. We're gonna shoot kind of around sunset or sunrise to create kind of a dust-like feel. We're gonna use the more inexpensive camera. The first angle we're gonna do is mount it right up here. And we have a super clamp, and don't use the cheap super clamps. And we also have a ball head Manfrotto. And you might wonder why this is here. We're gonna connect some bungees. So this is gonna give us a nice little access point to bungee down from right here. We kind of probably need to angle it a little bit like that. And I always think it's fun of trying to capture stuff on film that people didn't really capture back in the day, at least home movies, you know. What it smells like forever smells like? That's what it smells like. Oh, that's great.
Oh my God, yes, yes.
And that's where this remote trigger comes in so handy. Like I said, this one came with a remote trigger, about 10 feet on it. So if we hook it up, we have to turn it onto RL here. Now if I push in the trigger, it's ready to go. So now what I need to do is I would take it down here, open this window, pass it through. Since we're doing it at sunrise, I'm probably gonna go out in the morning by myself, so this gives me the chance to drive and just be able to hit it from here and turn it off from here. We need to make sure this is a little more secure. So I got an assortment of bungees just to keep it a little more firm and connected, because I mean, with this camera, it would be nice to have it here because the body's closer to where the plate is. This got a nice little point right here. And maybe one coming back down this way, and even getting like a long one and going all the way over there, just so it's a little more secure, a little more firm. Oh, and always like have a safety harness on here connected from your camera to right here. Just if it ever does come off, it's not going to shoot out on the road and endanger anyone. Maybe throw on the wide angle lens right here if we wanted to. Just make sure we're set it to infinity, zoomed all the way out. Since we don't have we can't close this thing, we would want to put black gaffer's tape on it. And we would drive down the road and hit our switch when we wanted to. Another angle would be, I actually mounted one right here. Ran the cord around to right through here, and I just controlled it via there. I'll show you another one that I did that was kind of crazy. How did I do it? Let's see, I rigged it kind of like this, I think. What did I do? It's on it's on this trailer hitch, so it's pretty secure. So you could even do one like this. There's enough slack on that remote trigger to run it all the way around and into the driver's seat, or probably be smarter to have just another person with you, maybe right here to flip the switch. And I thought, about 4 inches of clearance, 3, but I was trying to do it on a dirt road, so when I turned onto the road, it just fell down. You see all these scuffs here, but luckily the camera was perfectly fine. Nothing was wrong with it. But that would have been a pretty sweet shot though, if I could have got it like this. Wouldn't you say? I think that'd be pretty sweet. Maybe we'll try it again. We did some pretty cool rigs on Bert's truck. So I have Joey Shank's Galaxy Gulch 1, because we'll be shooting more of these. And I'm gonna put it back in here, and I'm going to tape this up. So you probably want to wrap it one more time in something black to trap all the light. Even a garbage bag would work, and wrap it up. X out all this stuff, old barcode stuff. Where we're going to want to write a few times on this box: film, no X-ray. Pretty important. So I got my test rolls ready to ship out, so I'm gonna go out to the mailbox and put that in the mailbox. And that's gonna conclude part 2 of our Super 8 Filmmaker's Guide. And stay tuned for part 3, where we're gonna show the whole process of finding a Super 8 projector, hooking it up, running the film through it, and projecting it onto a screen, and then filming it with a digital camera, and then essentially digitizing it. And with our test roll here, we also shot the same shots with our digital camera. So we're gonna see if we can pull off that Super 8 look with using basic filters in Premiere. If you liked this episode, please check out more of the Shanks Effects series. Some good ones to watch if you really were digging like the car mount stuff and all the bungeeing of the camera is the stroller dolly, where I make a camera dolly out of a stroller using the same mounting principles and bungees. And then there's also the bungee gimbal episode, where I create this kind of crazy gimbal contraption with bungees in my car, and it worked out pretty good. And I've also made an additional video that's gonna go really in depth into how to fill out a form and send it out to these film labs to get your film processed. And I would suggest to go to my website, moviemagicnow.com, to check out that video. And if you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I will try to address those questions at the end of the next episode. Thanks again for watching, guys, and stay tuned for more Super 8 filmmaking, and we will see you next time for part 3. Later.